Yep. Inside, I want to kill myself. We are on an 0-7 run over the last 2 days. After tonight, it was just complete bullshit. So that's how I'm going to start off this show. Horrible Sunday, 1-5. I don't even know what to tell you about that. I just don't want to do this anymore. I have never seen anything like this, man. With the slump continuing, 2 straight losses, not a good day at all. 0-4. I just have not had a good season, man. What can this slump that I'm on? The slump continues. I've reached a new peak, actually. With I'm gonna burn my Bruins hat, man. I don't know what is going on with the Bruins. March 8th, is that what it is? I don't even know. It's March 9th, I think. Who even knows, man? I don't know what day it is anymore. I don't even know what day it is anymore, man. Back with you after the worst day that I could possibly have. Back with you, as I always am. Until I die, at least. 0-2 yesterday, and yesterday did not go well for me. 0-5. The worst month that I've ever had in my 18 years doing this. I don't know what to even tell you about this anymore. What the slump yesterday is. The slump just continues. The slump continues. Somebody fucking kill me, please. I don't even know what I should do at this point other than potentially end it all. What's up, everybody? It's Toad back with you. Bettor Off Dead, Saturday, September 20th. Thanks for people who hung out for the college football show last night. If you missed it, go check that out. We do have multiple plays in college football. You can go see the analysis on that show, where I posted the short videos on my Instagram as well. We got Miami, Ohio, plus 2.5. I don't even know if 2.5 is still out there. I know we missed the key number 3 there. I still think it's probably, I would say Miami, Ohio should win that game, to be honest. So do what you will with that information. Memphis plus 7. You might be able to get 7.5 on that one because the public is definitely against that one. So either one. Kennesaw State, we did miss the better numbers on that. I think it was at least 6.5, but 4.5 home underdog I think is still good. So Kennesaw State plus the points. And then the one everybody really is trashing me about, so I need to get it right just to silence the haters, is Florida plus 7.5 against Miami. So go do that. You can also go watch my my rants on last night's video. Because yesterday we went 1-2, and it absolutely should have been 2-1. We got the win on the Baltimore Orioles first 5 innings. They won full game as well, which I'm extra happy about because I don't like the Yankees. Houston was a dead one. I mean, Seattle, you got to just tip your cap to Brian Wu. Very good start from him. He beat me. That's all there is to that. But then the under in Miami and Texas, there is no way that should have lost. Go watch my rant last night. I don't really want to rehash that again. I am so mad about that. It was 1-0 in the 7th inning, so the first 5 would have been an easy under. It was 1-1 at the end of 9, but it's still like, okay. I mean, this is Texas and Miami in Texas. These teams still can't hit, so it's like, all right, one of these teams is going to just win by 1 or 2 runs here. We're still going to get this under. Miami took a 3-1 lead in the 10th. Okay, should be over. Texas isn't going to score 2 runs. Oh, no, that's exactly what they do to send it to more innings, and then it completely unraveled in the 12th inning, because even at that point, we still could have gotten a 1-run, a 4-3 win there, still would have put the game under for us. No, Miami goes and they score 3 more runs, and then Texas also put up a run because, of course, the ghost runner has to go away, dude. There is no way that a 1-1 game at the end of 9 should go over 8 runs. I'm sorry. It can't happen. It should never happen. This is one of the worst baseball beats that I've ever seen. It is. I'm never going to forget it. It's going to irritate me till the end of time. Get rid of the ghost runners. It was introduced during COVID for absolutely no reason. It does not make the game better. It makes it way worse. It's not even baseball. You don't even earn that base runner. Some of the best games in baseball history have been ones that go whatever, like 14, 15, 16 innings, including some in the 2004 ALCS, Red Sox, Yankees. Just give me a break, man. Mr. Cover, thanks for coming back. What's up, man? You have Miami and Missouri. Miami and Missouri moneyline parlay. That's right. I think you mentioned that last night, right? You know I don't like Miami, so I think Florida has a decent chance to win that game outright. So I don't agree with parlays in general, but I don't agree with Miami in general either. I mean, I guess they should win the game outright, but I'm not really even so sure about that. I think Florida might be able to win that game. Hopefully I'm not wrong about that for my purposes at least, but hopefully we both are right, though. Hopefully you get your parlay and Miami wins and doesn't cover, and then we're all happy. Missouri, yeah, I mean, I think I said I slightly lean to Missouri there. It's a little bit weird to handicap that with Sellers is actually going to play, I think, for South Carolina, excuse me, I don't know. You like Chargers money line? I don't agree with that either. I like the Denver Broncos in that one. The Chargers are getting so much hype. I'll talk about it tonight on my NFL show. Come back tonight for the NFL show. The Chargers, they're way too overhyped, man. I saw, like, my TV over here. I had ESPN on the other day, and it was a question. Everybody was answering this question. Are the Chargers the favorite to win the AFC? I'm like, settle down, man. Settle down. I said that I thought the Chargers had a pretty good shot to win their division. I said they would absolutely make the playoffs. I mean, we're going a little bit too far here. And I thought the Broncos would take a step down. I like the Chargers over the Broncos this year, and I still don't like the Chargers in this particular game. It just looks like the books are begging you to play the Chargers. Like, they just throw up the line at -2.5, Chargers at home. It looks so easy to play the Chargers. Looks like a trap to me. I like the Broncos in that game. Charles, what's up, man? At least for now, I do. Thanks for hanging out, man. Let's get into baseball. We don't have WNBA today either, although Phoenix was able to eliminate the New York Liberty. I mean, the Liberty could not afford to lose that game at home, man. That's what it came down to. So Phoenix has moved on, and they will be playing Minnesota in the WNBA semifinals, I guess, is where we're already at. That was one series I got wrong in my bracket. I had the Liberty winning that one series, but they are out. The returning champions have been defeated. You guys are probably not going to like my plays in Major League Baseball here. I want to get through this, man. Don't want this video to be huge. Did have that 2-hour whatever video last night. Let's do this. Atlanta at Detroit. Detroit's looking like they just don't give a shit right now, man. They're looking like they're coasting. But they can't really, because they could actually still lose their division. I mean, they just got swept by Cleveland, which is bad for me, too, as a Red Sox fan, because basically the last wild card spot is going to be the Red Sox or Cleveland at this point. Cleveland sucks. They got to stop winning, dude. Their offense is terrible. Whatever. Detroit lost horribly yesterday, 10-1, which maybe a loss like that will refocus them. The fact that they're losing ground against Cleveland here. Detroit still should be kind of trying to get the best seed that they can, at least in the playoffs. I don't know, man, but at this point, they got to worry about Cleveland being behind. They got to make sure they win this division. So maybe Detroit will finally show up. I mean, a 10-1 loss at home against an Atlanta team that has nothing left to play for is pretty inexcusable, man. So I don't know what we're going to do about that. Atlanta has a pretty rested bullpen right now. The Detroit's is the slightly better bullpen generally, but the rest situation is actually a little bit in favor of Atlanta, which kind of negates the bullpen edge a little bit. Detroit, I will give them the offensive edge, and they are better at home. So Detroit has some edges here. The starting pitching matchup, whoops, as I go off of the page completely. Joey Wentz is pitching for Atlanta. You know, I'm not much of a fan of him, not just because he got all those calls from that female umpire to ruin whatever play I had in that game. I think it was an over. Maybe you want to play an over in this game and get back at that, because Wentz, I mean, he does not have good numbers this year. 5.56 ERA, 1.52 whip. He has been better on the road, though. 3.51 road ERA, so he is on the road here. But, again, he's not that good. He's got a 10.45 ERA this month. He's been pretty bad as of late, even though a 15-3 strikeout walk ratio shows good command. But he's allowed almost 2 hits per inning in his 3 starts this month. I mean, give me a break, man. I mean, that is not good whatsoever. So he's been quite hittable. Detroit, very small 8 at-bat sample size, but they've done well against him. 1 strikeout, 4 walks, 375 average, 1,333 OPS. So he looks like he is pretty fadeable here. And he's going up against Keeter Montero for Detroit, who sometimes he's kind of more of an opener. So it looks like this is a semi-bullpen game for Detroit here. He's got a 4.32 ERA, 1.38 whip. He's worse at home, 4.59 home ERA. Did have a 5-inning shutout last time out. He got a full starter's workload again last time out and did well against Miami. Not sure that we're going to see that again. My guess would be you're going to see somewhere in the neighborhood of maybe 3 to 4 innings from him in this game would be my guess. And then Detroit Bullpen will come into this game. So just keep that in mind. He might do better, though, because Atlanta, only Profar has ever seen him before, and he's 0 for 2 because, Profar's back when it's too late. He comes back from the PED suspension, but he's 0 for 2 with a walk off Montero. So I do think Detroit does actually have the upper hand in that starting pitching matchup, even though the money is disagreeing with me. 76% of tickets, only 67% of the cash on Detroit. They're down from -120 to -115. The money is saying Atlanta. I mean, it seems like the professional money just keeps jumping on Atlanta every single time. It's just like, I don't know, man. I don't buy it at this point. I don't. Even though Atlanta, they're better than the record looks. But what do you want at this point when they're just kind of playing out the season? Detroit has a bit more to play for here. I also do like the over, but the money's coming in towards the under, flipping from 9 juice to the over to being juiced to the under. 86% of tickets, only 58% of the cash on the over. I can't figure it out exactly, but I would have a slight lean to Detroit and maybe to the over in that one, but not a strong opinion. Cleveland and Minnesota are playing a doubleheader here, so they must have had rain out earlier this season. I would like Minnesota to win both of these games, but Minnesota has nothing to play for, and Cleveland could actually make the fucking playoffs. So what can you do, man? Cleveland might win both of these games. I would be very, very angry if that were to happen. I mean, Cleveland, they shouldn't be here. Their offense is one of the worst in baseball. They're not a very good team this year. The run differential is still negative. What they're doing is ridiculous, and they were sellers at the trade deadline, and so were Minnesota. Minnesota looks like they basically packed it in, but will Minnesota show up for this doubleheader against Cleveland? Because it is a divisional series. They have a chance to spoil the season for their divisional foe here, so maybe. Cleveland, of course, as I'm angry about this, Cleveland, of course, won yesterday, 6-2, so Minnesota's lost 3 games in a row. The starting pitching matchup here on the surface looks like it should favor Minnesota. The bullpens don't. Cleveland does have the better bullpen. Minnesota's is terrible. So that is one advantage that Cleveland has. And Cleveland's bullpen is less used. The starting pitching, Minnesota actually has the better offense. Cleveland's offense is miserable. But on the surface, you've got to think Minnesota has the better starting pitcher here. But when you dig into it, they might not even have the starting pitching edge here. Slade Ciccone is pitching for Cleveland. He has okay numbers, 4.39 ERA, 1.22 whip. Little bit better on the road, 4.23 ERA on the road. He's been okay this month over 3 starts, 15-4 strikeout walk ratio, 4.26 ERA. Had an 8-inning shutout against Kansas City and then allowed 2 runs against the White Sox last time out, recovering from getting bombed by my Boston Red Sox. Which was a much-needed win for the Red Sox there. The other thing Ciccone does have going for him, besides the fact that he was good in his last 2 starts, against weak opposition, but this is also weak opposition here. Minnesota's never faced him before, so he has an added edge with the unfamiliarity here because he's mostly been in the National League so far. So Minnesota's actually never faced him before, so sometimes when a pitcher is decent like he is, the offense hasn't faced him before. That offense has to take a few times against him to figure him out. So he might have a little bit of an extra edge there. Minnesota does have Joe Ryan pitching. He is their ace, but he looks like he might have packed it in for the season at this point, man, which really worries me because normally I would say, yeah, he's the better pitcher here, obviously. But he looks like he's just coasting at the end of the season here, man. They're just not in the right mental state. 3.35 ERA, 1.02 whip. He's had a good season. A little bit better at home, 3.25 ERA. But like I said, his 2 starts this month, one at Kansas City, gave up 5 earned runs and 4 walks in 2 innings against a really bad Kansas City lineup in a pitcher-friendly park. That's not a good sign. He pitched a little bit better against Arizona last time up, but only lasted 4 innings in that one. Did at least hold him to 2 earned runs, but Ryan looks like he might be packing it in, man. A 10.5 ERA this month. Not going deep into either start. 6-6 strikeout walk ratio. Worries me quite a bit, man. His numbers are good against Cleveland, though, so if he actually shows up, he can handle them. 97 at-bats against them, 15-4 strikeout walk ratio, 186 average allowed, 506 OPS. He's pretty much dominated Cleveland in his history, but which Joe Ryan is going to show up here is the question. Minnesota, bad season for them. Is he going to show up and actually want to win this game? It does look like Cleveland is a public road underdog in this one, and I talk about that, and I'm saying when you see market reads like that, 68% of tickets and cash on Cleveland. Minnesota's down from minus 125 to minus 117, but they are a home favorite here. Basically, that means you're getting a decent team. Well, in this case, not really a decent team, but you're getting a team that, I guess in this case, is at least maybe almost as good as their opponent is with this starting pitching matchup, at least at home, and the public doesn't want them. So that market read does kind of indicate Minnesota in this game, but I really, really worry about it. And it's a low total of 7.5, which I could see the arguments for the under. I would have to make it a first 5 inning under, though. Ciccone with his unfamiliarity, and if Ryan actually shows up for once, he could certainly do okay here. So I would not want to deal with Minnesota's bullpen, though. And that is the other issue. If you're going to go even with the Minnesota side here, I think you would have to limit that to the first 5 innings because Minnesota's bullpen is that much worse. We'll talk about Game 2 as well right now. Just knock it out of the way at night. You don't know what the bullpen situation is going to be coming into Game 2. That it's difficult to handicap Game 2s before Game 1 starts. So the bullpen usage, we don't know what it's going to be. We do know the starting pitching matchup is going to be Logan Allen against Bailey Ober. Logan Allen for Cleveland, 4.36 ERA, 1.43 whip. That's not good. That is too high. He's been worse on the road, 5.01 road ERA. So you might think, well, that looks good for me as a Boston Red Sox fan needing Cleveland to lose. Logan Allen's not that good, but he's been decent this month in 2 starts. He went 5 innings in each one, 6 strikeouts, 2 walks. I mean, that's all right. 3.6 ERA, so he's not pitching horribly at the moment. Cleveland did lose both of those games, so their offense hasn't been good behind him. He has been good against Minnesota, although it's a small 12 at-bat sample size. They only have 1 hit, a single from Royce Lewis, 4 strikeouts, 2 walks, 0.83 average, 298 OPS. So Logan Allen has done well against Minnesota in a very limited sample. So not a whole lot you can take away from that necessarily, but he might be better than Bailey Ober, man. Ober, I like his command numbers usually. Like, he doesn't walk that many guys, but he's just been way too hittable. I don't know what the deal is, man. He's got a 5.12 ERA, 1.31 whip. He had some injury issues this year, too. Not a good season for him, really. He is a little bit better at home, 4.75 home ERA. This month, he hasn't been that bad with a 4.96 ERA. I know that's not good, but he's gone at least 5 innings in every outing. He does have an 18-3 strikeout walk ratio. So like I said, the command numbers are at least there for him. He's facing a weak Cleveland offense here, and he has done well against them in the past. 120 at-bats. He has a ridiculous 30-4 strikeout walk ratio against them. A 192 average, allowed him 551 OPS. So Ober has done well against them. It looks like Cleveland is public in both games, which is not that surprising. 75% of tickets, 78% of the cash on Cleveland here because they do have the better record. Public is still overvaluing Cleveland. Minnesota's down from minus 118 to minus 109, though. So, again, I don't even really know what I would want to do with this game. And I can see another argument for a first 5 under in this one, though, because both starting pitchers have good matchup numbers. They've both been in okay form this month. So I could see that argument. The side is harder for me to gauge, though, in that game for sure. So those are my thoughts on those games. Washington at New York. The Mets got the win yesterday. The Mets fighting to maintain the last wild card spot. Washington, I mean, could be motivated because they are facing one of their divisional foes who is going to probably make the playoffs. So Washington does, have the ability. I think they probably have a little bit of motivation here to show up against a team in a spot like that. The Mets also somewhat embarrassed them yesterday with a 12-6 win. Mets getting wins when they need them to make sure they make the playoffs. The Mets are probably going to be a bit of an undervalued commodity in the playoffs, by the way, and we'll talk about that. I'm going to have a playoff special where I fill out my bracket or whatever, and I think Clint Russell is probably going to join me to talk about our playoff predictions as well. His team, the Padres, will be in the playoffs. Mine may not be, the Red Sox. This looks like it's going to be another Mets win, though, man. I mean, the Mets have the edge everywhere in this game. They have the better offense. They have the better bullpen. Washington's bullpen is atrocious. And they have the better starter. So it's like there's nothing really going for Washington in this game, really. Washington used a lot of their relief pitchers yesterday. The Mets did use a lot of theirs, too, but the Mets still have the better bullpen. Washington's going with Cade Cavalli. He's a young dude. Not a lot of familiarity with a lot of hitters against him, but he hasn't been that great. 4.76 ERA, 1.46 whip. He's been really bad on the road, 7.85 ERA. This month, 4.2 ERA across 3 starts, not allowing any more than 3 earned runs in any of them, going exactly 5 innings in each of them is okay. But a 9-6 strikeout walk ratio isn't that good, so you got to dial it back a little bit on this. His team did win all 3, but 2 of them were against Miami, and the other was against Pittsburgh. So the Mets are a different animal here. And the last time he faced good offenses, Philadelphia and then the Yankees, he didn't do that well in those last 2 starts. Although he did do well in his first start against Philly. But I'm not expecting a ton out of Cavalli here, even though he is unfamiliar to the Mets. So that might give him a little bit of an edge because the Mets offense has to figure him out. But the Mets pitcher has the same advantage here, Nolan McLean, and he's been the way better of the two. He's been real solid. This is his rookie season, 1.19 ERA, 0.98 whip. I don't think it'll even qualify as his rookie season, but this is his first time pitching in the majors, I should say. And he's been good. I think he's only had 1 bad start. He still has a 0 ERA at home. I've given out plays on his games a couple of times. And I believe we got wins on the under in his first game, and then on the Mets side, I think, against Philly. And I don't think I've given out any plays since then on his games, but I probably should have a couple of times because he keeps doing well. The Mets have won 5 of his 6 outings. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every single outing. He's doing well. He's dealing it, man. He's got a 40-12 strikeout walk ratio. He's allowed way fewer than 1 hit per inning. He's on it. He's facing a pretty bad Washington lineup here, and they've never seen him before, so he has that added edge there too. Nolan McLean is the better of these 2 starters. I mean, I think that's pretty obvious, but you're paying a huge price for the Mets, but I don't disagree with the Mets side here. They're up from -245 to -255. 53% of tickets, 84% of the cash coming in on the Mets. They have the matchup edge in every aspect of this game and the motivational edge, so that's the way that it is. I mean, if you want to lay the -1.5 run line on the Mets, this might be a spot where it makes more sense to do so because they can hit enough that maybe they can get over that threshold. I know if they're winning, they won't bat in the 9th inning, so that's a little bit of a disadvantage there, but there's no way that I would want anything to do with Washington in that game, so that's what I think. The Cubs at Cincinnati. The Cubs basically at this point seem like they're kind of locked into their top wild card spot. It's pretty likely that's where they're going to land in the number 4 seed in the National League. So they're kind of playing out the stretch at this point. Cincinnati has more motivation, and Cincinnati has won both games so far, and they won for us with my only play on Thursday. Although Colin Ray almost beat us. I mean, he pitched way better than I thought he would. Hunter Green got us there with an excellent start, though. Reds won again yesterday. The Cubs do have the better offense and the better bullpen here, but the motivation is absolutely on the side of the Reds because the Reds are still potentially trying to get that last wild card spot, man. They could still catch the Mets. Bullpen usage, the Reds did have a little bit more bullpen usage yesterday. So, yeah, the Cubs do have the better bullpen here. Better bullpen rest as well. But I think Cincinnati has a starting pitching advantage here. Chicago's going with Javier Assad, he's okay. 4.23 ERA, 1.3 whip. He's a secular dictator, man. He's got a 4.5 ERA on the road, so his ERA is worse on the road. His whip is a little bit too high. The Cubs have won his last 5 outings, so they do win behind him. He hasn't allowed many runs. He's allowed more than 3 earned runs twice this short season for him so far, and he hasn't ever allowed more than 4 earned runs this season, although he wasn't pitching in Chicago's rotation until August, so it's been a very short season for him. This month, mediocre, though. 4.7 ERA, 5-4 strikeout walk ratio. That's not exactly good. I don't know why his outing was so short last time out against Tampa. He got pulled after 2 1/3 innings. Not sure why, because he wasn't that bad. Hadn't allowed any runs yet. But his numbers against the Reds are not good. 65 at bats, 22-9 strikeout walk ratio. It's a bit too many walks. 308 batting average allowed, 838 OPS. So the Reds have been able to hit him in the past. And the Reds have Zach Littell pitching. He's had a pretty good season between Tampa and the Reds, pitching in hitter-friendly parks with both teams. Still 3.86 ERA, 1.11 whip. That's pretty good. His numbers are actually better at home with both of those teams. 3.67 ERA at home. So go figure. he tends to not walk a lot of guys. That is his advantage because he does allow too many home runs, but he doesn't walk a lot of guys, doesn't put a lot of guys on base. This month has a 13-2 strikeout walk ratio, but he's allowed 4 home runs, so he has a 6.19 ERA. But pretty much all the damage came against Toronto for the most part. Although last outing he did give up 4 earned runs to St. Louis on the road, although St. Louis had just seen him shortly before that, so maybe he was kind of in line to do a little bit worse against them because they were more familiar with him the next time. Littell, against the Cubs, though, he actually does have good numbers in 58 at-bats. 14-7 strikeout walk ratio is not good, but a 190 batting average allowed and 639 OPS allowed. So Littell does have the better of the matchup numbers here. I think he is probably better than Assad. The money's disagreeing with Cincinnati, though. I would probably only lean to Cincinnati in this game, but I'd maybe limit it to first 5 innings, though, just because they do have a little bit of a disadvantage in the bullpen. 78% of tickets, only 70% of the cash on the Reds, so they're public with the money going against them. I'm disagreeing with the market all over the place, man, but I'm not disagreeing with it on my 3 plays I'm going to give out here, though. Minus 105 up to minus 111 is the price on Cincinnati here. The small favorite here, and money seems to be coming in a bit on the under. The total's kind of just sitting at 9. 69% of tickets, 75% of the cash on the under. If I was going to go under, I think I don't know. I don't even think I would want to even touch that, man. I think Littell just does have a starting pitching advantage in that one. We'll skip A's and Pirates because I'm going to give out a play on that one. That's probably going to be the ugliest of all of them. I mean, that is an ugly game. I do have one on Red Sox Tampa as well, so we'll skip that for now. Yankees Baltimore. As I said, Baltimore did get the win yesterday. Baltimore playing decently here down the stretch. Have won 4 of the last 5 games. With the Yankees at their place, Baltimore's showing up for this series, man, because they have a chance to beat the Yankees. So it's the type of game they will show up for, even though they don't have anything else to play for. The Yankees are still trying to get a wild card spot and potentially take over the division. So there's motivation on both sides, even if it is a little bit more on the Yankees side. Both teams have bad bullpens. The Yankees is actually a little bit less bad. Usage was pretty similar. Both teams just kind of moderate usage, so you got to give the Yankees the bullpen edge. They do have the hitting edge. Do they have the starting pitching edge, though? Probably yes. I mean, on the surface, it seems like it's pretty obvious that they do. Although when you dig into the matchup, I mean, it's a little bit more questionable. Carlos Rodon is pitching for the Yankees. Good season for him. 3.11 ERA, 1.07 whip. He is a little bit worse on the road. 3.32 ERA. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in a lot of starts in a row, going all the way back to his first start in August was the last time he allowed more than that. So, like 8 straight starts, that's been the case. So that's good, obviously. His strikeout walk ratio has turned around this month, going 6 innings in each of his outings, 13-4 strikeout walk ratio. So he is pitching better this month. Again, 2.5 ERA. After last month, he had way too many walks, but still limited the damage. So he's in better form right now. But his numbers are actually not good against Baltimore. In 48 at-bats, 16-2 strikeout walk ratio is obviously quite good, but he's allowed a 312 average and a 1,048 OPS and 5 home runs to them, with 2 from Henderson. So Baltimore's done some damage against him, man. So not exactly the greatest matchup for him. Baltimore has Tomoyuki Sugano pitching. He's had an all right season. It's been his first season in the majors. It's been up and down. He's had an unfamiliarity edge against some opponents. He's been bad at some points this year. He's been a little bit better again, I think, lately, but I'll have to look in a second. 4.39 ERA, 1.32 whip. I mean, nothing special there, but, kind of at least numbers where you kind of fill out a rotation at least. He's a little bit better at home, 4.31 home ERA. Last start was good at Toronto. He held them to 1 earned run, although they still lost the game, but it wasn't his fault. 6 innings, 4 strikeouts, no walks. Very good start from him there. The prior 3 starts were all ugly, though. Giving up 3 or more earned runs in all of them, and the prior 2, he failed to even make it out of the 4th inning in either one, so that's not a great sign. Against the Dodgers, though, good offense. The other was against San Francisco, not good. Not a good offense. Sugano against the Yankees hasn't done well, though. 36 at-bats, not a huge sample, but 11-4 strikeout walk ratio, 306 average allowed, 764 OPS. I think I would lean to the over in this game. I I mean, it seems like it's probably going to be public just because it's a Yankee game. The public's probably going to come in that way. The money's totally disagreeing with me on it, but both bullpens are bad. Both starting pitchers have bad matchup numbers, so I think an over is the way to look in this game. The total's fairly high at 9, although it flipped to 9 juice to the under. 81% of tickets on the over, 84% of the cash on the under, so the money is disagreeing with me again and disagreeing with the public and coming in on the under. I'm disagreeing with the market on a ton of these games, man. I would lean over in that one. Miami at Texas. This one almost made my card. I would lean to Texas in this game. I think they do have a pretty big pitching edge in this game, at least with the starting pitching. But I worry a little bit about it because what is Texas's mindset going to be? Because they know they're not going to make the playoffs now, man. They've lost 5 games in a row. I kind of talked about that yesterday. They're done. Texas is done, man. I mean, I know they're not mathematically eliminated, but they're 6 games back in the division now. They're behind Cleveland in the wild card race. I think they're probably at least 4 games out of the last wild card spot now. So it's not good for Texas, man. So now what is their mindset going to be? They're playing out the stretch here. They lost again, extra innings last night. Brutal loss for them. Brutal loss for me on the under. I don't want to mention it anymore. Texas does have the better bullpen, although they actually used more of their bullpen yesterday. A lot of bullpen usage yesterday because the game went into extra innings. Texas still, I would give them the bullpen edge here, though. They do have the better bullpen. Miami has the better offense. Texas's offense just isn't good. But Texas does have the pitching edge, I think, throughout this game because the starting pitching, I think, is pretty heavily in favor of Texas. Adam Mazur is pitching for the Marlins. 4.85 ERA, 1.46 whip for him. Not good numbers. Worse on the road, 5.4 ERA on the road. He hasn't pitched that much this year, but so he's not wearing down or anything. He's just not that good. 4.41 ERA and 10-5 strikeout walk ratio in 3 outings this month. Didn't do well in either outing against Washington and then shut out Detroit for 6 innings. He gave up 2 unearned runs against Detroit. So weird that he pitched better against Detroit than Washington. Who knows? Texas has a very limited amount of at-bats against him, 8 at-bats, but they have a 500 average and 1306 OPS against him, 2-1 strikeout walk ratio. So he hasn't done particularly well against Texas, even though it's a limited sample. He's going up against Jack Leiter, who is absolutely the more talented of the 2 pitchers, and he's starting to find his way in the majors after I think Texas kind of rushed him to the majors. He's been a bit better more recently. 3.82 ERA, 1.29 whip is still too high, but he's good at home, 3.27 home ERA. This month, 4.15 ERA isn't that impressive, but he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all of his outings, just kind of had a shorter outing against Milwaukee. What can you do? I mean, Milwaukee's a good offense. He's pitched pretty well against some solid offenses recently. At the A's, very difficult park. At Arizona, also a difficult park. Road against Houston as well. So even on the road, he's actually been better recently. So I think he is in better form right now. 16-6 strikeout walk ratio this month is not amazing, but it's not horrible. And Miami's never seen Leiter before, so he actually has an unfamiliarity edge here too. So if you're going to play this game, I think you got to play Texas, but it's a little bit of a price. They're sitting at minus 150. They are public, 80% of the tickets, 96% of the cash. So the public is not always wrong. I think that's the way I would lean. I mean, I don't know if I'd want to go as far as a run line on Texas, though, because the price is a little bit too high. I think what you could do is probably do a half bet on the run line, half bet on the money line, and then at least if they win, you'll win a slight amount of money. If they just win by 1, you lose the run line part of it. You'll still win the money line part of it, which means you win money if you bet both halves to win the same amount. So those are my feelings on that one, man. So I do think Texas is actually the right side there, but you got to worry about their mindset right now, being maybe defeated after all what's happened recently. They're not going to make the playoffs now. 55% of tickets, 97% of the cash on the under. The totals dropped from off of that key number 9, although it was heavily juiced to the under already, down to 8.5. I mean, the arguments for that, I guess, would just be kind of similar to what I said yesterday. The offenses aren't really that good. A lot of unfamiliarity with that starting pitching matchup. If you wanted to go under, I think you got to do it in the first 5, though. But I worry about Mazur. So I think the way to play that game is really Texas. But yeah, first 5 under if you're going to play the under, would be the way that I would do it because the bullpens are pretty unrested right now. Yeah, you cashed it out. 90% of the total winnings. The cash out is always, it's a scam still though, man, because Again, 90% was still actually not good enough because there was like almost no chance that was going to lose at that point. On that, if you're talking about the under, yeah, like it was like 99% to go under at that point. So 90%, it's still not worth it. The cash out is still a scam. Yeah, skip it. I mean, that's how ridiculous that was. There was so little chance that it was going to wind up going over at that point that even getting 90% on the cash out was actually not enough. That's how likely it was that game was going to fall on the under at that point. It's ridiculous. Texas, yeah, they're slumping. They're done. They're not going to make the playoffs, man. I mean, they technically still could, but it's not going to happen. San Diego at the White Sox. San Diego lost yesterday, 4-3. White Sox actually playing a decent baseball kind of down the stretch. They're probably not as bad as their horrific record looks at the very least. And White Sox did go on a slide again here after they were playing decent for a while. They lost 6 games in a row, but they broke that losing streak. You know, I talk about when a team breaks a losing streak, sometimes it helps them. It gives them some momentum carrying over into the next game. But San Diego's got something to play for here. They're trying to make the playoffs. They're going to be in one of the wild card spots. I mean, they're not going to fall to where the Mets are. I don't even think it's possible at this point. I think maybe, I guess technically, maybe it still is, but it's not going to happen. They could potentially still win the division, although that's looking unlikely now. So San Diego's almost locked into their wild card spot now. So how to the number 5 seed in the NL. So how motivated are they going to be here? I don't know. White Sox playing out the stretch here might show up, just because they did win yesterday. It gives them some new momentum. San Diego does have a significantly better bullpen here. Didn't use a lot of it yesterday either, so they have a big bullpen edge here. White Sox didn't use much of theirs either, but a little bit more. San Diego has the better offense, too. That's just how bad the White Sox offense is. San Diego probably has the better starter, too, with Yu Darvish, but he is a bit of a question mark. I mean, he's a little bit older now. 5.63 ERA. Not good, but a 1.14 whip isn't that bad. Indicates that his ERA should probably be lower than it is right now. He's been really bad on the road so far, though. 7.86 road ERA. He came back from injury kind of late into the season in July, so you don't have to worry about him wearing down, but he's been fairly consistent, though, actually, but consistently mediocre. Basically, he comes out there and allows like 3 earned runs most of the time he goes out there. This month has a really impressive 18-2 strikeout walk ratio, but he's allowed too many runs, 5.52 ERA, too many hits. He's allowed 4 home runs, so you got to worry about him allowing too many hits here. And his numbers against the White Sox are actually not good. Not good. In 26 at-bats, 7-2 strikeout walk ratio. I know it's a small sample size, but 346 average allowed, 1,239 OPS. That doesn't look very good. He's going up against Yendrys Gomez, who was, I believe, on the Dodgers earlier this year, maybe on the Yankees as well. He's on the White Sox now. He's been not great. 4.91 ERA on the season across all those different teams. 1.42 whip. That's pretty bad. Better at home. 4.34 ERA at home. He's been okay this month for the White Sox. 4.2 ERA. 14-3 strikeout walk ratio is pretty solid. So he's in decent form right now. His numbers against San Diego, not a lot of a sample here at all. They only have 2 hitters I've ever seen him before, Iglesias and Laureano. They're 1 for 4. The only hit is a double from Laureano. No strikeouts, no walks. What do we want to do with that game, man? I mean, San Diego's just really, really public. 92% of tickets, 98% of the cash on them, and they've dropped from -175 to -160. Seems like you could, if you want to, maybe take a shot with the White Sox here. Maybe a +1.5 run line on this one. Although, actually, I would probably go +0.5 run in the first 5 innings or whatever it is instead of full game, because you really don't want the White Sox bullpen against San Diego's bullpen. But Gomez does maybe have a chance to duel Darvish through the first 5 innings here, though. So maybe that is actually the way I would lean in this game, as ridiculous as that one sounds. Money's also coming in on the under in that one for what it's worth. I don't really have that much of a feel on that one. Total drop from 8.5, juice the over to 8.5. 81% of tickets on the over and 57% of cash on the under. Dodgers over 9.5. What was I thought the total in the Dodgers game last night was like 7.5, wasn't it? Because it was like Kershaw against Ray, right? I thought I said I leaned to the over in that game, right? But I think the total I was pretty sure was lower than that, because I think the game it landed on 9, I think. So I thought it went over. So I thought I was right on that. And I had a slight lean to the Dodgers side in that game too, and that also would have been a winner. Clayton Kershaw didn't do that well, but Ray did worse, and Kershaw got, the standing ovation because he's going to retire after this year, so that was his final home game, except if he pitches in the playoffs. Seattle at Houston, this is still a huge series. This is a battle for the division. Both of these teams at this point are pretty much going to make the playoffs, even though I think Houston is actually tied with the Red Sox in the last wildcard spot, so maybe not. So if you're a Red Sox fan like me, at this point you actually have to root for Seattle to sweep Houston here, but that's probably not going to happen in Houston because you need one team to sweep the other to kind of knock the other team down. Houston, as I said, did lose yesterday. That was my one real loss yesterday, which I shouldn't have lost on the other loss. But it's a big series, man. These teams are fighting for the division. Winning the division matters. Both of these teams are better at home than they are on the road, which I pointed out yesterday. And Houston is, of course, the home team here, so that is an advantage for Houston. These teams have similar offenses. Seattle's is slightly better, and similar bullpens. So I think Seattle's might be slightly better, but Houston, a little bit more rested after yesterday, bullpen-wise. Similar usage, but I think Houston actually might have just a slight bullpen edge coming into this one. George Kirby is pitching for Seattle. He's been all right. I think he's had some injuries to deal with this year, too. 4.46 ERA, 1.23 whip. Not as good as you usually see out of him. He's not good on the road. Again, with these Seattle pitchers, some of them are much worse on the road, and he's one of them. 5.74 road ERA, so he is fadeable on the road. This month, he has a 17-2 strikeout walk ratio, but this month he's been all over the place. He had 14 strikeouts in his last outing against Anaheim, just ridiculous. And he started the month getting rocked at Tampa Bay. I know that's a very hitter-friendly ballpark, but he has outings like that where he just gets bombed. So with Kirby, it's a roller coaster. Like, you might get an excellent start out of him, or you might get absolute trash. He has an 8.76 ERA this month, but the 17-2 strikeout walk ratio, because he's allowed 20 hits in 12 and a third innings. It's crazy, man. Really good command numbers, but he's been way too hittable. His numbers against Houston are good, though, in 118 at-bats, 22-2 strikeout walk ratio, 250 batting average, 583 OPS. So Kirby, he's done well against Houston in the past, but he's not really trustworthy on the road. He's going up against Framber Valdez. You want to talk about untrustworthy. He seems like he's losing his mind this month. So a good season, but he's not pitching well right now. 3.59 ERA, 1.22 whip on the season. That's pretty good. He is way better at home. He has a 2.21 home ERA. But he's been really bad this month. 7.88 ERA. Every one of his starts pretty much has been ugly, except he pitched okay at Texas earlier in the month, but it hasn't been a good month for him at all. 15-6 strikeout walk ratio isn't really that good either. Too many walks. He's allowed 4 home runs this month. He's definitely out of form right now, man. So tough to trust Valdez right now. His numbers against Seattle are mediocre and 201 at-bats. They're definitely familiar with him. 56 strikeouts, 24 walks. That is, again, way too many walks. 264 average allowed isn't too bad. 760 OPS, a little bit on the higher side there. So I don't really trust either of these starting pitchers in this game. The bullpens are fairly trustworthy, but in this game, the money is coming in on the under. It's a low total. It's 7.5 juice to the over. 64% of tickets on the over. 73% of the cash on the under. I'm not sure I love that, man, to be honest. I could see both starters maybe potentially struggling because Kirby's not good on the road. Valdez, not in good recent form. Not that great against Seattle. So how do you... it's very difficult to handicap this game because the factors that I look for kind of go both ways. They go against each other. The money is saying under. The bullpens might help you out. If you go under, full game would make sense because you want the bullpens to be included there. Houston down from -110 to -105 on the money line. 55% of tickets, 62% of the cash on them. So Houston is getting some of the money. When I first looked at this, I said, yeah, Houston probably makes sense because Valdez is way better at home and Kirby's way worse on the road. But then when you look at the matchup numbers, they go against that. So it's really difficult to even say what I would want to do with this game, man. Other than leave it alone, obviously. It's just too difficult to handicap. And then, of course, Jays, Royals. I'm going to give out a play on that one. It was 7. That's like, yeah, 9.5 is just is so different from 7. they're in a different world, man. I would not have played that over the 9.5. I mean, 9 is a key number. You needed to play that, before the game started. Oh God, no, don't chase. Although if you're just doing it for fun, I mean that's fine. We already talked about Cleveland, Minnesota doubleheader. Milwaukee at St. Louis. Milwaukee, I mean, they're still trying to ensure that they get the top spot, the home field throughout the playoffs, because it's questionable right now. I think they're really close to Philadelphia right now. Philadelphia's playing really well. St. Louis doesn't really have anything left to play for, except they will show up in this series because they get to play against the Brewers. It's a divisional series against the top team in the division, so St. Louis did show up yesterday and won the game 7-1. Misiorowski did not have a good game. There's something a little bit wrong with that guy right now, man. I don't know what's going on, but something's wrong. St. Louis has the better of these two bullpens. They didn't use a whole lot of the bullpen yesterday. Milwaukee, they got some injuries to deal with in their bullpen. They used a little bit more of their bullpen yesterday. Their bullpen could be in question coming into the playoffs, man, even though Milwaukee is a good road team. This starting pitching matchup doesn't look that great to me either, man. On the surface, it looks like, Milwaukee has one of these young, kind of unfamiliar pitchers up against a junk veteran pitcher for St. Louis who's not very good. It almost looks kind of obvious that Milwaukee has the better starting pitcher, but I'm not really so sure about that when you start digging into the numbers. Milwaukee does have the better offense, and they are better on the road. They got Chad Patrick pitching, which I just alluded to. Decent numbers for him, 3.64 ERA, 1.28 whip is a bit too high. He isn't as good on the road, though, 4.6 ERA on the road, so that's a little bit worrisome. And if you look at how they've been using him recently, his last 2 outings were both openers, I think. He went 1 inning in each of them. One was a shutout inning against St. Louis, and the other was a shutout inning, which I believe might have been was it an immaculate inning? I don't know, because he didn't allow anything, and he struck out everybody. But I guess the immaculate inning, you need to not throw any balls. So I don't know if he did that, but it was a clean inning with all strikeouts against Anaheim last time up. So based on what they're doing recently with Patrick, I don't know how long he's going to go in this game. So it's very difficult to handicap this game because maybe they're even trying to save him for the playoffs right now because Quintana just went down. So I think he's going to be gone for the playoffs. So Patrick might be that last guy in the rotation potentially coming into the playoffs. So they might be trying to make sure they don't wear him out. So we don't know how he's going to be used in this game, man. I mean, Milwaukee at this point, they do know they're going to make the playoffs. They already won the division, I'm pretty sure. Or I think it's maybe not mathematically, but they're going to win the division. So they might be kind of getting themselves ready for the playoffs now, too. Patrick against St. Louis, only 15 at-bats against them. 1 strikeout, 2 walks, 267 average, 620 OPS. So his numbers are okay. St. Louis does have a very weak offense, but again, I don't know how many innings Patrick is even going to throw in this game. It might wind up being somewhat of a bullpen game from Milwaukee here. Miles Mikolas is pitching for St. Louis. He'll probably actually be the one to go deeper in this game unless he gets absolutely bombed. His numbers aren't good, 4.8 ERA, 1.31 whip, but good enough to stick in the rotation. He is actually way better at home, though, 3.4 ERA at home. So I said when you start digging into this, it's like, I don't know. Mikolas, not really that bad as of late. He's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in 4 starts in a row, 2.81 ERA this month. Milwaukee did just see him. He just faced them. He went 5 innings. He did pretty well. He allowed 2 runs, which were both on solo homers at Milwaukee, and he had 5 strikeouts, no walks. So he pitched pretty well in that outing. A 7-2 strikeout walk ratio, not a high strikeout rate, but he's not putting a lot of guys on base this month. His numbers against Milwaukee are actually pretty good. In 159 at-bats, 37-11 strikeout walk ratio, 239 average. He's allowed a little bit of power to them, though, 9 home runs, so multiple from Yelich and Hoskins, kind of the usual suspects there. 728 OPS allowed to them is still not really that high, though, so when you start digging into it, like I said, it looks a little bit more questionable as far as Milwaukee. They're a favorite on the road, up from -130 to -135, 88% of tickets, 93% of the cash on them. Money coming in on Milwaukee. Man, I mean, I might slightly lean to St. Louis, to be honest, in this one, because you don't even know what the pitching is going to look like for Milwaukee here. St. Louis does have the better bullpen. It's just their offense sucks. But Mikolas might actually give you a decent start again here. But Milwaukee did just see him, but they're already familiar with him, so I don't know if that really matters that much. So You are getting an anti-public home underdog at the very least. $5 bets, yeah. I mean, doing it for some entertainment. The ugliest series that we have going on right now, Anaheim and Colorado. I mean, these are two teams that are both out of it. They're both really bad. It's the worst team in the AL against the worst team in the NL based on run differential. Both bullpens are awful. The offenses are not that impressive, although the offense is better on the side of Anaheim. And I don't even know which bullpen is worse. They're both terrible. Colorado won yesterday, and that broke a loss streak for them. You know, I talk about that. They broke a 5-game loss streak, so that could give them a little bit of momentum coming into this one. Anaheim, probably not too familiar with playing in the elevation of Colorado here, so maybe a little bit of a disadvantage for them there. Colorado, I think, used a little bit more of their bullpen yesterday. Oh, excuse me. Yeah, Anaheim used a little bit less of their bullpen. I actually don't even know which of the bullpens is worse. I think I only have the hitting stats up right now. I don't have the relief pitching stats up right now, but I don't really care that much. Both bullpens suck. Kyle Hendricks is pitching for Anaheim. Not great for him this season. 5.01 ERA, 1.32 whip. He's been worse on the road, 5.78 road ERA. He definitely could struggle in Coors Field, especially, because this is a high elevation. It's a hitter-friendly park, and especially given that in a pitcher-friendly park last time out at Seattle, he got wrecked for 9 earned runs in 3 1/3. That's not a good sign. 6.06 ERA this month after his previous 2 starts were actually pretty solid. Although he didn't have any strikeouts in one of them against the Royals, which is a little bit concerning. 12-6 strikeout walk ratio this month. So Hendricks, he's not in great form right now. His numbers are not great against Colorado in 49 at-bats, 5-3 strikeout walk ratio, 265 average allowed, 757 OPS. That's not great. So he may not do great here. He's going up against German Marquez for Colorado. Not good numbers from him. 6.73 ERA, 1.77 whip, really bad. He's actually slightly better in Coors Field. 6.45 ERA, still not good though. He got trashed in his last outing at a pitcher-friendly park, too, at San Diego. Gave up 7 earned runs in 2 1/3. No strikeouts. Ugly month for him. 11.68 ERA, 4-6 strikeout walk ratio. So both of these pitchers look pretty fadeable here. His numbers are not great against Anaheim. It's a small 25 at-bat sample, but 7.7 strikeout walk ratio. He's actually allowed no extra base hits, though. A 280 batting average, but a slightly low-ish 718 OPS, but I don't trust any of the pitching involved in this game at all. Starters, bullpens, don't trust any of it. So I would kind of lean to an over here. The total's high. Obviously, it's at Coors Field. It's at 11.5. The money and the public seem to all just kind of agree on the over. 91% of tickets, 96% of cash on the over. That is probably what I would do in this game. Anaheim is a road favorite with the money coming in against them. Down from -125 to -119. 89% of tickets, only 71% of the cash on them. I mean, I guess I wouldn't really disagree with it, but I don't know how you could. I mean, if you're playing the Rockies side there, it's basically just because you're saying Anaheim's just in an unfamiliar venue for the most part. I mean, I don't really see a whole lot else there. Philadelphia at Arizona. Philadelphia won yesterday in the first game of this series, 8-2. Arizona, they know they're out of it. They're sitting at 500 here, but I mean, it's the Phillies coming into their place. Phillies beat them yesterday, so Arizona probably still going to show up for a series like this. Philadelphia, they're trying to catch Milwaukee, man, and that's crazy. They could overtake Milwaukee because they don't really have that much other reason to be motivated at this point. They could just coast in the NL East. I think they've already clinched the NL East, I'm pretty sure they have. There's not that many games left. So Philadelphia might be thinking about that. If they just clinch, that might be a reason to maybe go against them. I don't know if they did, though. Usually I see it here in the recent news, but I don't see it there. Both of these teams have bad bullpens. Phillies is actually the slightly less bad of the two, and they didn't use much of their bullpen over the last 2 days. Their bullpen is pretty rested, at least. Neither of these teams played on Thursday, I don't think. So Arizona, somewhat rested in their bullpen, but they used some of their bullpen last night. So Philadelphia does have the bullpen advantage in this game. Both teams can hit, although Philadelphia's is the slightly better offense. As far as the starting pitching, Aaron Nola is pitching for Philadelphia. He's coming back from like Tommy John surgery. I think he's had a really, really bad season. 6.44 ERA, 1.43 whip, although he's shown signs of maybe getting somewhat back to his former self, although I'm not ready to say that that's the case yet. He's been bad on the road, a 7 ERA on the road. Ugh, that's ugly. This month, 18-5 strikeout walk ratio looks good. That looks like the old Nola. Good strikeout walk ratio, but a 6.35 ERA. He's allowed a lot of runs this month, but maybe he's getting a little bit unlucky because he hasn't allowed that many hits. So it's like the runs are just kind of coming at inopportune times, man. I know I faded him. I gave out Kansas City as a play last weekend and got that one right. It was more about the situation, but it was also about fading Nola. He didn't do well, but he got a little bit unlucky, I would say, in that game. So I think maybe Nola is actually starting to come back into form a little bit here, and it's just not showing with the amount of runs that he's given up so far. His numbers against Arizona aren't really that good, though. In 90 at-bats, 27-4 strikeout walk ratio is really good. 267 batting average and 805 OPS allowed is not that good, though. So that's a little bit worrisome. Zach Gallen is pitching for Arizona. He's starting to turn his season around as well. He's got a 4.73 ERA, which I know that's not that. I know that's still not that good. 1.25 WHIP. Getting into tolerable territory. He's actually now better at home. He was better on the road for a while, but now he's been pitching better as of late, and he actually got way better at home. He's got a 4.61 ERA at home now, which is better now than his road ERA. Last 2 months, his ERA has been in the 2s. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all but one outing at San Francisco, which isn't that great of a sign. But the fact that he's allowed 2 or fewer earned runs in every other outing since the beginning of August is a pretty good sign. 2.89 ERA in 3 starts this month, 14-5 strikeout walk ratio. Granted, it was against Texas and San Francisco twice, so those offenses aren't good. Philadelphia's is. And they're okay against Gallen in 106 at-bats, 23-11 strikeout walk ratio, 264 average, 786 OPS. They can hit him okay. So this is a difficult handicap for me as well, man. It looks like the money is kind of coming on the Philly side. Arizona's up from -110 to -111. 50% of tickets, 69% of the cash coming in on Philly. So maybe thinking that Nola's a bit undervalued right now with his ERA looking so bad. It's a high total. It's dropped a little bit from 9 juice to the over to 9. 89% of tickets, 96% of the cash coming in on the over. Obviously, if you're going over, you want to fade the bullpens because the bullpens are not very good. So I don't really have much of a disagreement with the over. I mean, both pitchers might be mediocre in this outing. It's difficult to say, man. It is difficult to gauge this game. So I know usually I'm going to give out an opinion at least on most games, but somewhat difficult in some of these games. And then San Francisco at the Dodgers is the last game on the schedule. Dodgers have won 3 in a row. They now have a 4-game lead over San Diego. So they might start going into cruise control a little bit. It could be in a little bit of a letdown mode here because they've beaten San Francisco twice. Big emotional game for Kershaw last night. So Dodgers might be in a little bit of an emotional letdown after that. They got the win for Kershaw. I don't even know if I want to touch San Francisco, though. I mean, I'd probably get AIDS if I did. Oh, no, now I'm going to get nuked. I can't say that. San Francisco, they're just playing out the stretch. Although, they'll show up for a series against the Dodgers, though, especially when they've lost the first 2 games. San Francisco does have the better bullpen. The usage wasn't that high for them last couple of days. Dodgers have used more of their bullpen, so it's definitely a bullpen edge for San Francisco. Dodgers have the better hitting, though, by far, and they're better at home. Starting pitching, though, looks like the Dodgers do have they definitely have the better starting pitcher. Kai-Wei Tang is pitching for San Francisco. He's showing some glimpses, at least. He's got bad numbers on the season, 6.41 ERA, 1.61 WHIP. He is better on the road, 5.85 ERA. This month, he actually has a really high strikeout rate, 21 strikeouts in 13 1/3 innings, 6 walks, 4.05 ERA. Doesn't last long into these games, though. He's only gone 5 or more innings once this month and twice this season. He's still young, getting his bearings. He's starting to pitch a little bit better, I guess. Definitely has a lot of strikeouts potential, though, it looks like. And the Dodgers have never seen him before, so maybe Tang will be a little bit better than it looks like on the surface, although I still don't think I would trust him. He's got to go up against Tyler Glasnow, who obviously is an established pitcher and is good. 3.06 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. He's had some injury issues this season, but when he has pitched, he's been good. 2.38 home ERA, so he's good at home as well, better at home. He's starting to pitch like his old self, man. His last 3 outings, he's gone 6 2/3 or more in all of them, allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in all of them. He's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in actually all but 1 outing, going all the way back to early April. all but one outing since coming back from injury. He came back in July, so he's in their rotation for the playoffs, which they're going to need, obviously. His numbers are not as good as you would think against the Giants, though, because they're not a good offense. But in 77 at-bats, 20-9 strikeout walk ratio, 273 average allowed, 816 OPS. So maybe they can hit Glasnow a little bit. And Kai-Wei Tang is unfamiliar to the Dodgers, so he might have a little bit of an extra edge against him. I think they've never seen him before, right? Did I show that? Yeah. I don't know if I showed it, but yeah. So he has an unfamiliarity edge at least. Dodgers are a huge favorite, sitting at minus 225, 82% of tickets, 87% of the cash coming in on them. I still don't think I trust Tang, though. I can see some arguments for an over again, even though Glasnow is really good. I wouldn't really want to do it in this one. I think last night was the place to do it. Tang, again, he could be a little bit better than his ERA looks, though, with that unfamiliarity there. And Glasnow, I usually don't want to fade him. So, as far as the over, yeah, it's a little bit questionable, even though fading the Dodgers bullpen seems like a good idea, but probably don't want to do it. I might still have a slight... I don't know if I would lean to the Dodgers, though, man, because I talked about the situation. Seems like it's an emotional letdown for the Dodgers. And really, at this point, they pretty much know they're going to win the division. So they're kind of like locked in, close to being locked into what their seed is, I think. So we'll see what happens. Let's get to the best bets. Yeah, DeTotis Clark, the realist Clark. What's up, Nate? Thanks for hanging out again. Let's go to the best bets here. Nate's just in time for the best bets. That was the breakdown. I always forget to show the graphic. We'll do the best bets and we'll get out of here. Not a long video for me here because it's all baseball today. But I got to talk about 3 baseball best bets, and they seem a little bit iffy. And right now I got to hold on because I got to make sure I didn't put the banners into the system yet, so I got to do that. Let me look at what they are first. The first one up is going to be, I don't think any of these are afternoon games. All of our plays are in the evening slate of baseball here. 2 of them are going to be first 5 unders, and the first one up is going to be the A's in Pittsburgh. First 5 innings. Let me see what the line is on this. I think it's an under 4.5. What is it? It's an under 4, yeah, at plus 100, so you can find it at even money. If you want to pay the extra for the under 4.5, you could, but I don't want to pay more than like minus 120 on something like that. So, and I think you do have to pay more for that, but I like the under in the first 5 in this one. I don't really love these bullpens, so we'll take the bullpens out of the equation, especially the A's. Not a trustworthy bullpen. They've seen a decent amount of usage recently, so I don't want them in here. Pittsburgh, their bullpen's the somewhat better of the 2 bullpens. They're rested to some extent, but used a few of their guys yesterday, 4 guys. So I still don't really want any part of the bullpens here. These teams are just playing out the stretch, but I'm focusing on what I think are 2 pretty young pitchers that are unfamiliar to the opposing hitters. Pittsburgh's offense stinks, so we get that to our advantage as well. I know the A's offense is good, but I think they might be held down enough in this game that we can go under. Pittsburgh is on a bad slide, 5 straight losses. Their offense has been bad. It is bad. It's the worst offense in baseball, so we have that going for us here. Sure, they might want to show up and turn it around, but the A's offense actually hasn't been as good recently either. They played some lowish scoring games recently, right? They scored 2 against the Red Sox, 4, and then 5, and then 4 in the first game last night against Pittsburgh. So last night's game in the series actually went under. We're going first 5 under here, though, man. Even though I know the A's offense is good. But good pitching can compete good hitting, though, more often than it doesn't. But we got Luis Morales pitching. This is a game where it's going to go way under the radar as far as the under is concerned. Under the radar, because you get 2 pitchers, nobody knows who they are, and they're actually not bad. Luis Morales for the A's, pretty talented young pitcher here. 3.08 ERA, 1.11 whip. Pretty solid numbers here. He's actually better on the road. Well, not actually. That makes sense because the A's stadium is terrible to pitch in. He actually hasn't even been bad at home, but 1.88 road ERA. He's been pretty solid. He did have 1 rough outing against the Red Sox, but other than that, he's allowed 3 or fewer earned runs in every other one of his outings. A little bit of a bounce back against the Reds last time out, and now he's stepping way down in class against this Pittsburgh offense, who has never seen him before. So I think he should do pretty well here. He's got the unfamiliarity edge. The hitters are going to have to try to figure him out on the fly. 12-4 strikeout walk ratio this month is not too bad, even though his ERA went up 5.87. But again, mostly because the Red Sox gave him his only really bad start. He hasn't allowed a lot of hits at all. 10 fewer than innings pitched, 28 in 38. as far as the actual numbers. He's allowed too many home runs, but again, they basically all come at home. I mean, most of them have come at home. 4 of the 6 have come at home, so less of a concern on the road. He's got a 34-14 strikeout walk ratio. It's a few too many walks, but I think we can hopefully trust him here against a very weak lineup. He's going up against Bubba Chandler for Pittsburgh. His ERA looks bad, so really, again, nobody's going to want to come in here and play an under on this. 5.66 ERA, but a 1.16 whip tells a different story, man. I think his ERA is misleading. It should be lower than it is with a whip like that. I know he's been bad at home, so you got to worry about that. 10.13 ERA at home, but it's such a small sample size that, like, what do you want? He faced the Dodgers and Milwaukee at home. I know the A's are a good offense too, but I mean, I think we're going to get a better performance out of Chandler here, man. He bounced back in his last outing in a big way after those rough outings. 6 innings pitched, 1 earned run allowed, 7 strikeouts, no walks there. I think he was actually coming out of the bullpen for a bit, and I think that might have been actually his first actual start in the majors. Might have been that one. Let me see. No, he's made 2, my mistake. But maybe he got a little bit nervous in his first start, whatever it was, which probably was that Milwaukee game. He settled down nicely, though, so maybe he's got more confidence now that he had that one really good start. He's a talented guy, though, dude, and the A's have never seen him before, so both starting pitchers are these young talents that have unfamiliarity here, so we will go under in the first 5. I know it's something that people are not going to like, probably. It seems dangerous. People don't know who these pitchers are. The money, I think, is agreeing with me. We have 50% of the tickets on the under, but 99% of the cash, it looks like right now. It's gone down from 8.5 to 8 on the full game. So we'll roll with it. The money's also coming in the A's for what it's worth. 64% of tickets on Pittsburgh. Crazy to see Pittsburgh as a public side. Makes absolutely no sense. I don't see how they could be because the public likes hitting, and that's what the A's give you. The A's have 54% of the cash on them. Plus, the public's going to see Morales with the better ERA, so how could the public possibly be on Pittsburgh? I don't buy it, but 54% of the cash on the A's. Looks like the money's on the A's, but we're going first 5 under in that one. Thank you, sir. Yeah, that's it's ChatGPT, man. I basically just said, draw a toad who's explaining his bets, like at a casino or something. I think that was the prompt that I used. It was something like that. Next up, we're going to have, what's next up? It's another first 5 under, I believe, right? Actually, no. The next one up is a side, and it is, I hope I get this one right, because it is my Boston Red Sox on the money line. We get a pretty cheap price on it, minus 104. We're going to go with the Red Sox in this one. They do have more motivation here, even though I know they beat Tampa last night in a very high-scoring game, 11-7, but it was 11-4, or 11-3, I think, in the 9th inning. Tampa exploded a little bit against the Red Sox bullpen, but Tampa used more of their bullpen yesterday, man, so the Red Sox bullpen is in a bit better shape here. Tampa, a lot of bullpen usage yesterday. The Red Sox, not as much, even though they gave up a lot of runs late in the game, so the Red Sox have some of their better pitchers available here to try to get them this game, so I think the Red Sox already have the better bullpen. I mean, both bullpens are pretty good, but the Red Sox do have the better one. They have the better offense. I know that this is a bad park to play in, but the Red Sox can deal with this ballpark more than other teams because it's built to mimic Yankee Stadium. It's the Yankees spring training stadium. So teams that play in Yankee Stadium a lot in this division are going to fare better in this stadium, I think, than teams that are less familiar with it. And then we have the starting pitching matchup where the unfamiliarity is on the side of the Red Sox here. Kyle Harrison, which was part of the Devers trade, maybe the better part of the Devers trade. I know they did get Tibbs or whatever, and they wound up trading him away for fucking Dustin May, who is just ass and is now on the DL, or really the shitty list because he just sucks. But maybe Harrison will wind up being good for the Red Sox. He's young. He does have some talent. His numbers this season in the majors are not bad. 4.05 ERA, 1.24 whip. He's good on the road, 2.25 road ERA. I don't know how his home ERA is that bad, especially because some of it was with San Francisco in a pitcher-friendly park. I don't get it. But the Red Sox got him. He was in the minors for a while, for a few months. He's made one appearance in the majors so far, and it was at, speaking of bad stadiums, it was at the A's stadium, very hitter-friendly park against a really good offense for the A's, and he shut them out for 3 innings, had 2 strikeouts, no walks, allowed 3 hits. That's a pretty good sign, man. Harrison pitched pretty well in that one. He does definitely have potential, man. So I like seeing that. That's a good sign. And, of course, the Rays have basically never seen him before. Only Fortes has ever faced him before, and he's 0 for 4 with 1 walk against him. So I think Harrison has a pretty big unfamiliarity edge here. The fact that he has that first game out of the way and it was in a pretty difficult environment, that's going to set him up to pitch decently here, I think, because this is another hitter-friendly ballpark, and it's a step down offensively. The A's offense is better than Tampa's is, so I think Harrison should do okay here against another offense that isn't familiar with him, that has to figure him out on the fly. So I actually kind of like how that sets up. We don't know how long he's going to go in the game, though, so the Red Sox might bring in the bullpen a little bit early in this game, but they do have the more rested bullpen here, so taking that into account, we'll still roll with the Red Sox here, though. They're going up against Adrian Hauser. I know he's had a pretty good season. The Rays got him around the trade deadline because they thought they were still fighting for a playoff spot at that point. And I know the Rays are a better team than they look. I keep preaching that. They're better than their record looks. Yes, this is the type of game they will show up for because it's against the Red Sox. They could spoil their divisional rivals' season. But I just think the Red Sox, the matchup and the motivation should put them over the top here, I hope. I mean, I'm going to wind up being wrong about this and being really angry. That I know already it's going to happen. But Hauser, good numbers on the season. He was facing some weak offenses with the White Sox, though. 3.11 ERA, 1.27 whip between the White Sox and Tampa. He's better at home, 2.54 ERA at home. But how much of that is with Tampa? Not a lot. He's only pitched in this stadium twice with Tampa. He's had, whatever this is, he's had 8 starts with Tampa, and 6 of them have been on the road. Only 2 of them have been in the stadium, and he gave up 4 earned runs in each of them to St. Louis and Seattle. So he hasn't been terrific as a home pitcher with Tampa here, man. So maybe this stadium is not really the greatest stadium for him. He's been decent this month. The 19-2 strikeout walk ratio is really good, so he has good command numbers. 4.42 ERA, maybe not as good, although he did get a bit unlucky. He hasn't allowed a lot of hits, so I'm not saying he's in bad form here. He's not, but in this stadium, he might pitch a little bit worse. And the Red Sox, I know it's a small sample of 18 at-bats, but they've hit him. They have a 500 batting average against him, 1,304 OPS, 2-1 strikeout walk ratio, and there's a home run in there from Trevor Story. So the Red Sox have hit Hauser in the past. I know, again, small sample size, but I think it's enough edges here to give the edge to the Red Sox, and that is where the money's coming in. It looks like the public is on Tampa. 67% of tickets on Tampa. I don't think that makes any sense, but they probably just don't trust Harrison at all, and they see that Hauser's numbers are good. I mean, I really don't know. Hopefully we can trust Harrison. Hopefully he's better than Hicks, the other part of that trade, who I think Hicks isn't that bad. He's got like a really good ground ball rate and barrel rate if you look at his advanced analytics, but just hasn't panned out yet. But 89% of the cash on the Red Sox in this one, so the money's coming in that way. Tampa up from -105 to -107. It's basically a pick the winner type of price, so we will go with the Red Sox in that one. Yeah, exactly. Physically retarded list, yeah. Let's not get my channel nuked here. Hopefully you're allowed to drop one of those in there somewhere. And then we'll finish this off with the last one is another first 5-inning under. And it is, what is it? I got to refresh my memory here. I already forget what it is. Oh, no, it's the one in my graphic. You guys already know what it is. In this one, we get a little bit of a higher total in this one, and we're going under in it. It's Toronto and Kansas City. Let's get this one up quickly. First 5 under 4.5 at -115, so the price isn't too bad on that one. Obviously, I like the starting pitching matchup, and that's what we're going with here. I do think Kansas City has a pitching edge in this game, though, to some extent. They have a bullpen edge in this game. Toronto's bullpen is the worst of the two, and Toronto they used some of their relievers yesterday somewhat heavily in the game yesterday. Just an embarrassing game, though. Kansas City only used 1 relief pitcher. So Kansas City has the better bullpen and the more rested bullpen. But if you didn't see what happened yesterday, Toronto, they're fighting to win the division here. Kansas City is basically out of it at this point. But Toronto lost the game 20-1. Max Scherzer gave up 7 runs without getting out of the first inning. It's just ridiculous. Not what you would expect against an offense that's not good like Kansas City. So that's just crazy. I don't know how that even happened. But that's going to help us with an under. I think the fact that we see Kansas City score 20 runs yesterday, which should put Toronto in an angry mood, by the way. So there are some angles that maybe you should look towards Toronto here. But if you do want, I don't even really see that much of an angle for it because the matchup just worries me about Toronto here. Kansas City has the bullpen advantage in this game. Toronto does have the offensive edge. There's no doubt about that. They have the way better offense for sure. But we're focusing on the total, and we're focusing on just the starting pitching here because we don't want anything to do with Toronto's bullpen. Starting pitching here, you know me. This is the type of, I always play on these particular I have certain starting pitchers where it's like I'm always on their games. And that's what I'm doing here. We got Shane Bieber for Toronto, the Biebs. He came back from missing like an entire season, getting Tommy John surgery, a little bit of the old TJ, but he's been good. 3.72 ERA, 1 whip. He's been good, man, since coming back. I know he's a little bit worse on the road here, 4.5 ERA on the road, but this is a pitcher-friendly park here, man, so I think he should do better here against a bad Kansas City offense. He's allowed more than 2 earned runs twice so far, more than 3 earned runs only once. I know he's only made 5 starts so far, but Toronto's won 4 of them. He has a really excellent 30-4 strikeout walk ratio, and has not allowed many hits, so he is completely on point as far as I'm concerned. His last outing was really good against Baltimore. So not a good offense, but neither is Kansas City. 6 innings in that one, 1 earned run allowed, 5 strikeouts, 1 walk. So I think we can absolutely jump in on him at least here, jump on him. That's pretty sexy. Against the Royals, pretty good numbers. It's 76 at bats. He has a pretty ludicrous 24-2 strikeout walk ratio against them. Really dominant as far as those numbers are concerned. He's held them to a 224 average. He's allowed 3 home runs to them, though, so the OPS is a little bit high at 662, but all 3 home runs are from who else? Perez, who I think hit another home run yesterday. So, I mean, basically everybody else in this lineup doesn't do a ton of damage against him. So I think we can roll with Bieber, but you know me, Noah Cameron's pitching for the Royals, and I've pointed this out. You do have to worry about maybe he's wearing down a little bit because it's his rookie season, but looking at his recent starts, it looks like that's not that much of a concern at this point. I know he's going up against a good offense here, but I think he can get us there, man. He's got a 2.98 ERA, 1.09 whip, really good this season. He's a little bit worse at home, 3.1 ERA, although that's still good. This month, he has a 3.32 ERA and 20-6 strikeout walk ratio. So like I said, he doesn't seem to be wearing down, man. His last 2 starts were on the road against Cleveland, another bad offense, and then Philadelphia, who's not a bad offense, and that was the one that gave out that was a winner for me on the show. He went 7 innings in each of those games, 2 earned runs allowed in each of them, and had a 15-1 strikeout walk ratio. So that doesn't look like he's a guy who is actually wearing down right now. So I think we can roll with this with Cameron as well. He has faced Toronto, so Toronto at least is familiar with him now. So the first time he faced Toronto, he had an unfamiliarity edge against them. I know that was this game. I think he did give up 4 earned runs in that game in 6 1/3. Only had 1 strikeout. So that is a little bit concerning, but if you look at this overall, I mean, Toronto, did they pick up other players at the deadline or something? I don't know what's going on here because Toronto has 24 at-bats against him. I think they did. Kiner Filefo was one of them. So Toronto has 24 at-bats against him. They only have 3 hits off him, no extra base hits, 4 strikeouts, 1 walk, 125 average allowed, and 285 OPS. So this current lineup that Toronto's throwing out there, they have not been good against Cameron. Looking at the money in this one, the money looks like it's kind of fading Toronto. They're down from -150 to -130, 85% of tickets, 87% of the cash, even though they do have the division to play for. They're going to be angry after losing 20-1. I mean, that's ridiculous, but they use a lot of their bullpen, so sometimes that can domino into the next game, but we're only focused on the under, and it looks like the money's agreeing with that. 60% of tickets on the over, 72% of cash on the under, although granted that isn't the full game. Total's just sitting in 8.5, so it's not even going anywhere. Of course, after a 20-run outburst by Kansas City yesterday and knowing that Toronto has a good offense, the public is probably going to still want to play the over here, or they're at least not going to want an under, but we'll do it. First 5 under. That's the last play. Justin Bieber. I don't know his music that well, man. I mean, maybe. You couldn't believe the 20-1. Yeah, I mean, I saw that score. I was like, what? Anyway, that's going to do it for now, man. Go check out my football video from last night. We got football plays, Miami, Ohio, +2.5, Memphis, +7, or I think you can get 7.5 probably now. Kennesaw State, +4.5. I know we're losing a little bit of value on the Miami, Ohio, and Kennesaw State, but I still like those sides. We got 3 home underdogs there, and then we have a road underdog that's really going to be going way against the public. This is extremely contrarian, but that's what you got to do, man. Florida, +7.5. And then in baseball, we got first 5 innings under 4 in A's, Pirates. We got the Red Sox money line, and we got first 5 under Jays, Royals. That's going to do it. Learn to Toad on Twitter. Learn to Toad on Instagram. I got to get the baseball plays out on Instagram. Got to get my picks settled here before noon hits. So I got to get that done. I feel like I'm always in a rush at the end of this video here. It wasn't too long today. Learn to Toad on everywhere. Learn to Toad. Do it, baby. Like, subscribe to the channel here. Tell people about it, man. Let's get more eyes on this channel. Bettor Off Dead. We're on audio as well. Give me a review there. Listen. All that helps me out over there on Spotify and Apple. Covered in Uke is my Uke channel on YouTube, so you can check that out as well. I want to get more going on that, on the Uke front. And then patreon.com/learntotode, where some Uke bonus content exists there. And that's going to do it. Thank you, Charles. Bald, that will be coming up. It'll be episode 4 of Bald. Clint said that he would do it. He suggested, I think during our last show, he's like, let me come back on and we'll talk about baseball, because he's a baseball fan. He likes the Padres. So, yeah, we can talk about that. Nate, rooting for Nebraska today. I have a slight lean to Nebraska on that one. By the way, I checked the market read on all 4 of my college football plays that I gave out, and it still looked good this morning on all 4. So hopefully that's still the case. Hopefully we're not going to be on all 4s. Hopefully, so I like it. I think I went through it and was pretty selective. So hopefully we get it there. Let's go. Hopefully everybody gets some wins today, and have a good day, everybody. Peace for now. And I'll be back tonight, because we got to talk the NFL slate for tomorrow, where I have probably at least 2 plays. Sometimes I only go with 2 in the NFL. Maybe it'll be 3. Usually it's not going to be more than 3, but we'll see. Something in that ballpark. But I don't love the NFL card, to be honest. The board, I mean, like I said. But I will be back tonight somewhere around midnight to talk about it. Peace for now.